Hello and welcome to this new video tutorial of Bagisto. In today's video tutorial for the default Bagisto, we'll be checking out the users and roles in Bagisto. So basically, to give someone restricted access to the admin panel, the first step is to create a role that has the appropriate level of permissions. After the role is saved, we can add new users and assign the restricted role to grant them limited access to the admin panel. So in today's video tutorial, we'll be checking out how to define a role or how to create a role and how to assign a role to a particular user and the workflow thereafter. So basically what we are doing is we are providing some restricted access to the admin panel for a particular user, and we are creating a role that has appropriate level of permissions. And what we'll be doing is we'll be creating that particular role first, and then we'll be assigning that role to a particular user, and then we'll be logging into the backend panel there, and we'll be checking how that particular role works for that particular user itself. But before I proceed further with this particular video tutorial today, please do subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to receive the latest updates from our end. And if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. So right now I'm at the store front end, as you can see. So what I'll do is I'll just go to the admin backend panel, and I'll be logging into the main admin by entering the email address, password, and tapping on the sign in button. So we'll be logging into the backend panel of the Bagisto backend panel itself. So let's tap here on the sign in button. So as soon as we have signed in, we'll be able to see the dashboard initially. Now what we need to do is we need to define a role first. To define a role, we'll go to the gear icon that we have on the side panel, and here we'll go to the users section. Under users, you can see that we have already created a user with the email address admin@example.com that has the role as the administrator, the same one that we have used to log into the backend panel. The same email address, that's admin@example.com, was the administrator, so we are having all of the accesses there for the admin panel there. Now to first create a role, what we'll do is we'll create a role. For example, if we are going to create a role, what we'll be doing is we'll be creating a role that has access to the sales section only and the dashboard itself in the admin backend panel. So for example, to create the role, what I'll do is I'll tap here on the add role button that I have, and then we'll be giving the name to the role. For example, sales section access. For example, if you want to give some description to the same, you can give the description as well. Then here we'll provide the access control to the sales section access that we are going to create this particular role. To this role, we'll give the access to the dashboard and to the sales section. So whenever this particular user logs into the admin backend panel, he'll only be able to see the dashboard and the sales section. Under the sales section, he'll be able to view the orders, invoices, shipments, refunds, and would be able to view, edit, and cancel the appropriate sections as per the requirement or as per the permissions provided by us within this particular section itself. So we are providing the access to the dashboard and the sales section, and the name of this role is sales section access. Now after giving the name, giving the access control, rest access controls we have not provided, we have only provided the dashboard and the sales. And let's tap here on the save role button to save the particular role. So you can see that the sales section access with the custom permission has been saved. If you want, you can edit it out, you can delete it out as per your requirement as well. Now what I'll do is I'll go to the users section, and I'll be adding a new user here that would be able to log into the admin backend panel with limited or the restricted access there. So here I'll give the name to the user. For example, let's set it as test user. Let me set the email here. For example, smith@webcool.com. Now this particular admin that we are going to create, or the user that we are going to create, would be able to log into the backend panel using the email address, that's the smith@webcool.com, and the password that we are going to set here. So let me set the password here as well. Let me confirm the password. And under the status and role here, I'll choose the sales section access role that I had created with the access to the dashboard and to the sales section, and I'll enable this particular user, right? So what I've done is I've given the name, the email address, the password, the status and the role, and I've set the status as enabled. Thereafter I'll tap here on the save user button. So here you can see that the user has been created. That's the test user. It's active right now. The email address is smith@webcool.com and the role is sales section access only. Now let's go back. Now let me log out of the admin backend panel from the main admin. So let's log out. And now let me log into the admin backend panel using the same email address or the new user that we had created, smith@webcool.com, and let me enter the password for the same, and let's tap on the sign in button thereafter. Now after we have signed in, you can see on the top right hand corner we have the test user that we had created with the sale section access, right? And here on the left hand side you can see that we are able to see the dashboard and the sales section having orders, shipment, invoices and refund section. So we are only provided the access to this test user for the dashboard and for the sales section that includes the orders. So if you want, we can check the orders, we can process the orders as well, we can check the shipments. If we generated any invoices, we can check the invoices. If we generated any refunds, we are able to see the refunds as well, and we are able to view and manage the same from the sales section. So we have provided the complete access of the sales section to this particular user there. So that's how we'll be able to give someone restricted access to the admin panel. And the first step is to create a role that has the appropriate level of permissions. After the role is saved, we can add a new user and assign the restricted role to grant them limited access to the admin backend panel. So in this particular video, I showed you how we can define a particular role or how we can create a role with appropriate level of permissions, and after that how we can assign the role to a new user and how the new user would be able to log into the admin backend panel and how you'll be able to see the sections that have been provided under the what we say as the role section. So whatever access permissions we have provided to that particular user under the role section, only those sections would be available, like the dashboard and the sales for this particular example that we saw. So yes, that was much about the users and roles in Bagisto, and I hope that this particular video helped you out in understanding the same. If you still have any questions, queries, sessions or requirements, then you can anytime get back to us at support@bagisto.com, or you can raise a ticket at bagisto.uvidesk.com as well. Apart from that, if you find this particular video helpful, then do kindly give it a thumbs up. And lastly, thanks for watching this particular video and have a great day ahead.